Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Listen Up Girl podcast, your go-to podcast for everything in the LGBTQ plus world. I'm your host, Zach Randalls-Friedman, and today I have a very packed episode to talk about. We're talking about accountability finally catching up to hate speech, major cultural events in music and television, attacks on LGBTQ plus spaces, political decisions impacting real lives, and the ongoing fight for visibility, safety, and equality. Some of these stories are inspiring, some are frustrating, and some are a reminder that the fight is far from over. So, our first story is legal accountability in Australia. A homophobic post, a legal battle, and now a clear line has been drawn. Australia politician Mark Latham has been ordered to pay $100,000 after a tribunal found he unlawfully vilified openly gay MP Alex Greenwich. The case goes back to 2023 when Latham posted an explicit and deeply offensive comment targeting Greenwich's sexuality. It was so extreme that the media outlets refused to repeat it, but the impact was very real. Greenwich has spoken out about the abuse that followed, including threats, anxiety, and the kind of pressure that made him question staying in public life. And now, years later, there's finally accountability. And the ruling doesn't just address one post, it sends a message that targeting someone for who they are, especially in such a public way, has consequences. Greenwich called the decision an important step forward because this isn't just about politics, it's about what kind of public space we accept and whether people can exist in it openly without being attacked for it. Congratulations to you. I think you deserve every penny you got. Next, George Michael's life heads to Broadway. George Michael's life is reportedly being developed into a Broadway musical with his sister and talks after years of rejecting similar projects. And this time, it's not just about the hits, it's about the story. From Wham to global superstardom and everything that came with it. Because George Michael wasn't just a pop icon, he was a gay man navigating fame, privacy, and identity in a time when being open wasn't always safe. His relationships, his struggles, his quiet defiance. For years, his family protected that story, but now, nearly a decade after his passing, something has shifted, and this could finally be a chance to tell the full story. Not just the icon, but the man behind it. I would definitely go see that. I love George Michael. Next, reality TV gets messy and very gay. So move over, housewives, the boys are fighting back. OUTtv's new reality series, Ultimate Boys Trip, is bringing the drama. The show follows stars from X-rated NYC as they head to Miami and immediately dive into feuds, flirting, messy drama, and yes, steamy makeout sessions. Honestly, it's camp, it's chaotic, and it's very, very gay. The series features Boomer Banks, Joey Mills, Max Connor, and Drake Vaughn. And if you're looking for escapism with a side of abs and attitude, this might be your next binge show. I'll give it a try. Next, LGBTQ plus center denied funding in Florida. In Florida, a decision out of Palm Beach County is raising serious concerns. Officials denied a funding request to repair air conditioning at a campus community center, a long-standing LGBTQ plus nonprofit that serves both queer individuals and people living with HIV/AIDS. And the reason? A new anti-DEI law backed by Governor Ron DeSantis. But here's the thing. The law doesn't even go into effect until 2027. So the denial feels less about policy and more about politics. And once again, its LGBTQ spaces are paying the price. Oh, how much longer do we have to deal with Ron DeSantis? He's got to be out soon. Next, remembering the Admiral Duncan attack. 27 years ago, a neo-Nazi nail bomb tore through the Admiral Duncan pub in London, a cornerstone of the LGBTQ plus community. 3 were killed, 79 were injured. And yesterday, the community remembered. A vigil was held in honor of the victims and reflect on how far we've come and how far we still have to go. Because history matters, and remembering it matters even more. Next, Pulse tribute arrest, then dismissed. In Florida, once again, something small and symbolic turned into something bigger. After a rainbow crosswalk near the Pulse nightclub was painted over, 6 people redrew it with sidewalk chalk. They were arrested, but this week the prosecutors dropped all charges. Why? Because chalk washes away. It doesn't damage property. It doesn't harm anything. But what it does do, it remembers. And remembering the 49 lives lost at Pulse, that is not a crime. Next, Sniffies gets a $100 million investment. Sniffies, yes, that's Sniffies. You know that app where you can find all types of sex and whatever you want, is expanding in a major way. With a $100 million investment from Match Group, the platform is going global. Don't expect it to turn into Tinder. No swiping, no bios. It's still just cruising, just on a much bigger scale. Okay. Next, new film Tyrant adds rising star. A new thriller called Tyrant is building serious buzz. The film, set in New York's elite dining scene, includes a stacked cast: Charlize Theron, Julia Garner, Demi Moore, and more. And now, rising talent Hudson Williams is joining the lineup. Details are still under wraps, but with that cast, people are definitely paying attention. That's exactly what Hudson Williams needs. He needs like those big stars with him. I think he's going to be a huge star. Huger than he already is. Next, Drag Race star Eureka speaks out. RuPaul's Drag Race star Eureka O'Hara says she was kicked out of a Madonna event in West Hollywood, but not quietly. She claims she was mistreated by security, moved multiple times, and ultimately removed. Eureka says actress Julia Fox even stepped in to defend her, but sources from the event say something different, claiming Eureka was causing a disruption. So two very different stories, but either way, it sparked conversation about how queer performers are treated, even in queer spaces. Look, it was all about Madonna that night, and if she was causing trouble, maybe she needed to be removed. So I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just telling you, Madonna should have been the spotlight of the whole night. Next, boyfriend material heads to TV. Alexis Hall's best-selling gay romance novel, Boyfriend Material, is being adapted for television. The story follows Luke O'Donnell and his unlikely romance with barrister Oliver Blackwood. It's witty, romantic, and very British, and part of the trilogy that's already built a massive fan base. Now it's heading to the big screen. Next, we talk about LGBTQ plus safe school opening. This August, South Florida will open Acceptance Academy, a middle school designed as a safe space for LGBTQ plus students and those who've experienced bullying. And honestly, this matters because a lot of kids, school is not safe, and this could be a huge change for them. I'm actually surprised that South Florida, since they're so anti-LGBTQ plus, is actually opening a school, but I am so for it. Kids sometimes are extremely mean, and for those kids that are part of the LGBTQ plus community, being in a school that you still feel safe is so important. Next, health care discrimination still exists. In the United States, 11 states still allow healthcare providers to refuse treatment based on personal or religious beliefs. And LGBTQ plus individuals are feeling the impact. Research shows queer people in those states are significantly more likely to report poor health outcomes because when access to care isn't guaranteed, everything else becomes harder. And then we go to Brisbane. Arson attack on an LGBTQ plus venue. An LGBTQ venue called Come to Daddy was targeted in an arson attack. Pride decorations outside the venue in Australia were set on fire, and thankfully the fire didn't spread thanks to quick action from locals. And the community showed up once again to help clean up, but even in the face of hate, community is still showing up. And our last story is Supreme Court and voting rights. A major ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court and a 6-3 decision. The court weakened a key part of Voting Rights Act, a law designed to prevent racial discrimination in voting. Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg responded with a message. Don't be demoralized, mobilize. Because rights, whether voting rights for LGBTQ rights, are never guaranteed. They're fought for. I love Pete. And that's your LGBTQ plus news for today. If you made it this far, thank you for being here, for staying informed, and for being part of this community. Make sure you've subscribed wherever you listen. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill because these stories matter, and we're going to keep telling them. I'll be back tomorrow with more LGBTQ plus news. Thanks so much for listening.